дали 15 минут, не 3 часа, и буду говорить in English. So, hi. So today I wanted to tell a little story of our startup, how it all began and what ups and downs we were having. So if you're working in a new startup or if you're thinking of setting up a startup yourself, these are some of the things you might encounter. So firstly, just a few sentences of the business. So we're in the agriculture business, so we're providing for the farmers weather forecasting, plant disease forecasting, and farm efficiency planning tools. But today I won't talk about VitalFields, I will talk about the whole experience. So basically what I did, I put everything we did on a timeline, and I'm going to go through those. VitalFields began from Garage 48, which is an Estonian hackathon, weekend hackathon, and one of our co-founders was, he did weather forecasting. So we thought, why don't we do something for surfers? Because I myself I'm a surfer, and I could use, and the problem always is that you're sitting in a meeting and there is wind blowing outside, and you think, oh, why did I organize this meeting instead of going to surf? So we created this application which would tell you one day in advance that on this particular your favorite beach, under this particular angle which is good for you, the wind is blowing tomorrow. So it was a good product. Only I used it as a surfer. And one day, after about 2 or 3 months, we started Googling a bit more, which we didn't do enough in the beginning. And we found the exact same solution, only a lot better. So then, and that was our first startup vodka moment. And the next day, we thought, no, we need to pivot. And we pivoted. And because I used to work in Estonian plant production inspectorate before. I knew some of the problems that the farmers were having. So I thought, okay, so if we have this weather forecasting part, then why don't we deploy it to some business area that is more useful than surfing? So we started developing this new solution. And the first thing we did, which is very important if you set up a business yourself, is go talk to customers. So we sat in the car, we went to 3 farmers, we spent half a day there, and we wrote down everything that they were speaking about. We just said, tell us everything you do, and we didn't offer anything to them, we just paid attention. After that, we started building the system. And we found out that weather was in correlation with plant diseases, and scientists do those plant disease models, which you can then, with these models, you can calculate the disease risks. So we started working with that, and we built the first minimum viable product. And it was and we presented to the first customers that we were talking to, and they liked it. So we decided to go on. So next, with the startup, we stepped into Startup Wise Guys. We were the first batch in Startup Wise Guys, and Startup Wise Guys is the first Estonian startup accelerator. So you go into that accelerator, they give you a bit of funding, and you give a bit of your company away. So then I was, at that time, I was working in Elion, and I was still working sort of in two places. And then after a couple of times when I canceled a meeting with like 10 people who were joining with an SMS, I thought, no, we need to quit our jobs. We need to do only this. We can't we can't hold our day jobs anymore. So I thought that, but I've always thought that, how can you set up a startup, and where do people get the money? I mean, I have 2 kids, you have house mortgage, you have car mortgage. How can people afford that? And but then when you have kind of taken the decision, you start really thinking about things that, wait, I can sell my car, I can drive with the bus. Then I took, from the house mortgage, you can take a vacation. So I took that. For the kids, I registered as unemployed, and I got unemployment money, and plus a little bit of the investment money. So we could sustain ourselves. So we were developing the solution and ping-ponging it to farmers, and they really liked it, and generally kind of it all took off. So we were interacting with farmers in Brazil, in US, in UK, in Kazakhstan, and kind of and the big farming community in Estonia said that, oh guys, you are so enthusiastic and great, and it looks like a great product. Why don't we just give you some money? And they gave us a bit of money to this, kind of encouraged us, and they said they would use it. And then we had and with the Startup Wise Guys Accelerator, we had a demo day in London. So we pitched in front of those all of those big VCs, and I got a bunch of visit cards. And then afterwards, I visited all of these venture capital funds like Index and Balderton and Passion Capital in those big glass buildings. And this was our 15 minutes of fame. Everything was good. And we thought, oh, this startup life, this is really great. But actually, with the investors, investors are like investors are smart people. So for investors, a startup is like a train that is departing from a station, and they start walking beside the train, and they see if this train will speed up or slow down. If it slows down, they walk away. If it speeds up, they jump on. So that's why if you are raising money, it always takes a lot of time, specifically because of that reason. So we were in August, and our money ran out, and soon my house mortgage started to end. So we thought, okay, so we have no money anymore. We have no real investment outlooks. We had currently internal disagreements because 2 developers, one developer wanted to build a rocket, the other wanted to build quickly like a minimum viable product and get on with it. And they were having constant...
How many of you were in a team?
3. And they were having constant disagreements, so all we did were arguing. We weren't developing anything. And we had no paying customers, and I had a nearly fatal car accident, and I mean nearly fatal. So I was cut open like this, and all of the broken parts were thrown away and then sewed back together again. So I was in hospital. And the second co-founder leaves, the one that dealt with the weather forecasting, so the core competence.
Is it October 2012?
Yes. Well spotted. I left it specifically so if the programming community would notice this. So anyway, I was in the hospital, no money, no future outlooks, very bad. And this was our second big vodka moment. only without the vodka because I couldn't drink much. I was just got out of the hospital. And then we closed an investment round of 250,000 euros, just because kind of for that train reason, and all of these problems were actually were focusing us, and we said to the investors, okay, so this train is going to leave. So anyway, we got the investment, and after that we did a lot of PR, a lot of personal sales, a lot of advertising. We signed up a big distributor who helped us sell to the farmers, because it's not easy to sell to farmers. And right now, around over 5% of Estonian farmers are actively using the product. And we have a first employee in Ukraine, so I'm going back and forth there all the time and setting up this business there. So, and I listed out some, so if any one of you is planning to do a startup, I listed out some points which maybe would help you, because if I had known these, it would help me. So one mentor said to me before I quit my job that sometimes you have to put everything on the line. Well, in a startup, you have to put everything on the line about 4 times. And yeah, so that's... keep the team together, very important. After this hackathon event, usually this weekend event is interesting, but the real life kicks in and everyone wants to do their own stuff. So there needs to be somebody who calls people every day, says, hey, we have a weekly call, hey, let's meet on the weekend, let's do something. Very important. Talk to customers right away, try to sell today. So I've heard this, especially with technical people, I've heard this a lot, that a good product sells itself. No, it doesn't. Or let's put it on, let's do a good product and we'll put it on forums and the word starts spreading. It won't, believe me. And if you're talking to customers, try to sell, don't ask for feedback, because people are nice people. And if you talk to a person and they like what you're doing, and they always say, oh yeah, sure, I like this, and this is nice, and maybe you should tweak this a little bit, but they won't pay. If you need to go there and say, here's the contract, please sign it. You have to pay so much money. Then you hear the real feedback. So it will take a long time, so prepare for the long run. I haven't seen any startups closely that make any considerable revenue within 2 years. Some people just want to see you survive. So we were talking a lot with these plant pathologists, and people in the beginning, people don't take you seriously because they sense that you're just some guy that that wants to do something, but you're not really on his level. But then if you go back in 4 months and then you go back 4 months after that, then they start seeing, oh, this guy is still alive. So maybe now I should talk to him. If everything is good, beware it will pass. If everything is bad, don't judge. This will also pass. And get a few advisors. They are a validator for many things, meaning if you have a startup idea, there is probably one guru that knows all about the industry and all about these products. Try to get him on board as a mentor. Of course, he will, from one side, he will give you good insight and good things that you should do, but on the other side, if you are able to get this guy, because he's the top guy, then he will probably send you away for the first 3 times. If you finally get him, this will already validate that you are on some level, and this will force you to be better and better. And that's it for me. These are my contacts in case you need them. We're also looking for developers, of course, like everyone here, I guess. So, any questions?